Let me know once you start. طيب اليوم نأخذ العطف. جملة عطف تتكون من ثلاثة أجزاء: معطوف عليه، حرف عطف، معطوف. اشتريت لحما ودجاجا. So any sort of جملة عطف, it has معطوف عليه, then there's حرف عطف. So I'll explain what is حرف عطف. معطوف عليه أو معطوف. Then, so اشتريت لحما ودجاجا. So is حرف عطف. This is جملة العطف because obviously it has one of the حروف. So if you see this one, what are the حروف عطف? من حروف العطف الواو. So what is this one? ثم. Whenever you hear the word ثم الذين يلونهم, this is one of the meanings. I mean, there's a difference between ثم and fa, and then there's أو. أو means or. So أو is or, wa is and, ثم and fa is very similar then. But there's a difference when you use ثم and then when you use fa. This is what you will take in this one, and here they explain the meaning of it. قرأت شعرا وقصة. I read شعر, شعرا, poetry or poem. وقصة, story. معطوف عليه is basically شعر. Okay, حرف معطوف is the قصة, so the one before it is going to be معطوف عليه. The حرف عطف is wa, and then you have the معطوف, and the one that follows after the حرف عطف is going to be, what I'll try to focus on is more like the meaning. So here the general meaning is wa, which is and. الجمع بين المعطوف ومعطوف عليه. So it is basically combining this قرأت, so I read poem and قصة. So that's what the word is. It is combining both of them together. So in this one, العلم والمال مفيدان. Knowledge and wealth is useful. Both of them are useful. العلم, again, معطوف عليه, that's the first one. معطوف is going to مفيدان, المال. وحرف عطف is going to be و. So what's the next one? تناولت الفطور ثم الغداء. So if you see this one, تناولت, I ate. الفطور is breakfast. ثم الغداء, then lunch. So obviously when you say ثم, there's ترتيب, there's a sequence. When you say ثم, there's a sequence, but it's not immediate because you don't have breakfast and immediately have your lunch, right? There's تراخي, there's a sequence, but there's also a time. مثلا دخل الأستاذ ثم الطالب. So there's a sequence, after, then the student entered. سافر محمد, first Muhammad traveled. ثم, the first is something I said, it's not the verb. ثم سعيد, then Sa'id traveled. So one of the ways you differentiate between ثم and fa, سافر محمد فسعيد. So here in the English language, you may sometimes use it, you may use the word then, but generally the fa is to indicate, again, sequence, but it indicates like sur'ah, it happened immediately. When you say فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Malaika to prostrate, you see the word فَسَجَدُوا is to indicate, they did it immediately. Sur'ah, they did it with a lot of speed, or to indicate like it's not like they took their time. فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى, except Iblis, as he rejected. أبى. So دخل أستاذ فالطالب. So this is again to indicate sur'ah, and it happened one after the other immediately. دخل الأستاذ فالطالب. You see the difference between ثم and fa at this point?
No.
So in the English language itself, you may have a very close, like let's say in meaning, but there is a difference on how you use it. Okay? أريد موزا أو تفاحا. I want a banana or an apple. موزا, again, this is معطوف عليه, and تفاح is معطوف, and then you have أو, sorry, I think I'm not sure. Then you have أو, which is حرف عطف itself. تخيير is to basically you have choice. Okay, معطوف عليه, معطوف, and then you have أو, which is going to be your حرف عطف. This
If there's
is,
like a second or I mean, there's like a third, fourth option, they're
you
all
can still
معطوف.
use, you can still use و or أو. It's still going to be fine. This is just to indicate connection.
Okay.
So I mean, the only thing I would take, if I have, remember, some of it is very theoretical. In the thumma and fa, there's more meaning to it. Because by end of the day, as long as you understand how wa is used, wa is joining between two things. It's connecting both the sentences. Same thing. What I'll giving you takhir, it is giving you an option. So that as long as you understand that part, the others are all very, very theoretical. But thumma and fa, you need to know how to use it. So if you want to indicate, immediately, you'll use fa. If you want to give like time period, then you will say thumma. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then the i'rab of the both words would be the same.
You'll say حرف عطف.
Mm.
You'll, for the wa, you'll say حرف عطف. So, but for أستاذ, you'll say فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. you'll say في حرف عطف في الطالب. So again, here you can say معطوف عليه if you want to call it. I mean معطوف, not معطوف عليه. You say معطوف.
But
So this
the
part,
i'rab of the ma'tuf and ma'tuf alayh would be the same.
yeah, it's going to be رفع in both cases. Because remember, the معطوف and معطوف عليه, the dhamma is always going to, what does dhamma indicate as raf? Only in the case unless you have رأيت الأستاذ و, and then you have والطالب. In that case, it is mansub in both cases. Okay, but that's a different. You're not in the fair form. It's more like wa. Salah will cover that one also. There are different ways you use wa harf atf, but for now we'll stick to this one, which is just strictly joining two sentences. I had to keep the same meaning, i.e., it's this and this, so it's keeping. Let's say تناولت, I ate الفطور, I ate breakfast. والغداء, if I said والغداء, I ate. So the al-ghada is going to go back to تناولت in both cases. You get what I'm saying? So the way is a connection. There are other ways also. I think people have used why it's not coming to my mind. There's another way. It's almost like you can start a new sentence, but I don't remember the details right now. حفظت القرآن وأنا في سبعة. So here the wa has another meaning. So this is one way they use. So I memorized Quran. وأنا في السابعة. Here is like when I was 7. أو ثامنة, or 8. So here the wow is not actually and, but it's more like when. Let me give you another example. دخلت المسجد والإمام يركع. So here the wow is like when the imam was in ruku'. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the harf wow, it depends on the sentence, but once you look at it, you need to understand how the wow was used. In this case, it's more like when. And obviously, أو is this or this, تأخير. Just like how you in English we say or. Is this part clear?
Yeah.
So أو is used either in تأخير. This one they use it in terms of shak. Shak is like when you're in doubt. I mean, this is in any language. I mean, I don't think so. Or there's two ways you use it. Take this or this. I memorized Quran when I was 7 or 8. Well, nothing too hard about these. Is everything clear with whatever we took? Before we move on to the exercise. So ملاحظة معطوف عليه يعرب حسب موقعه في الجملة. So the معطوف عليه is the إعراب of it will depend on how it's in the sentence, how it's positioned in the sentence. So if you say تناولت الفطور, so this is مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة. This is معطوف عليه. So if you see this one الأستاذ, this is فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. So معطوف عليه and معطوف, all of this will depend on how it's placed in the sentence. Okay. All right, so let's go to, so they're just giving you different examples. Okay, let's do this one. العطف اسم يتبع ما قبله في الإعراب بحرف. العطف, it's a noun يتبع ما قبله, it follows, what is before it في الإعراب, in the إعراب بحرف. جملة العطف تتكون, the جملة of عطف, it consists of three things. معطوف عليه. So let's say I said دخل أستاذ, in that case أستاذ is معطوف عليه. Then حرف عطف, then let's say واو, ثم المعطوف, the word that follows the حرف عطف. من حروف عطف واو فاء ثم أو, these are the حروف عطف. في المثالين الأول والثاني حرف عطف هو واو تفيد الجمع بين المعطوف والمعطوف عليه. So in the first two examples, they're just saying it's basically combining two things. So we said تناولت الفطور I mean, I'm saying I think in the example it said ثم, but I'm just saying if I said wa, you would be combining the two things. So when you see wa, that's one of the indications. It's like saying combining. So generally, what is the in this case it is العلم والمال مفيدان. So العلم is مبتدع مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة وهو معطوف عليه. So by the way, you don't have to even mention this. A lot of the times they'll just stop here itself. But this is just to show you, this is just معطوف عليه. معطوف عليه is something that comes before a wa, and then there is معطوف مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. So remember, this won't be خبر. خبر is something that's giving you the information. I could have always said علم مفيد مبتدأ and خبر. Now you have المال, so this is معطوف مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة. مفيدان is خبر مرفوع وعلامة رفعه ألف because it's مثنى مثنى because it's two مثنى two for anything that's dual. I'm sure this grammar is not easy for you. Is it easy or is it difficult? Before I continue.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. في الأمثلة, so in the third, fourth, and fifth, حرف عطف is ثم يفيد الترتيب. تراخي يكون بينهما وقت. So that is to indicate there's time. It's not immediate. That's what we mentioned. في المثال السادس والسابع, in the sixth and the seventh, يفيد الترتيب والسرعة. So it does indicate, one after the other, ترتيب, arrangement, or like to indicate sequence. والسرعة and speed. يأتي بعده مباشر. مباشر is to indicate immediately. It comes after it immediately. في المثال الثامن والتاسع حرف عطف هو يفيد التأخير. So in the eighth and the ninth, what it points out to is basically selection. أو شك في التاسع, or it's also to indicate doubt. So you have و ثم, and then you have أو, or you have فاء. All of this is حروف عطف. So let's take one or two exercise. ضع, let's do this one. ضع أداة العطف مناسبة في المكان الخالي مما يأتي. ضع أداة العطف, tools of عطف, the four options that I mentioned. مناسبة في المكان, suitable in the place. خال, in the empty space. مما يأتي, like from the following, i.e. لا بد أن تقابل الخير وشر في حياتك. ماذا نكتب هنا? What do we write here? لا بد أن تقابل الخير.
أو
I would say, it shouldn't be optional. I would say wa, because you should accept both good and the evil in your life. Because remember, it's not because if you say "oh," it's like saying either accept that or accept this, but you should accept both technically if you think of it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
نعم.
جيد. This one's easy, hopefully. نام الطفل استيقظ. How would you say it?
ثم
ثم. So there's going to be a time span. بنى العصفور عشه. What is that thing called? I don't know what's the English word. What was the right English word? Nest. Yeah. وضع بيضه فيه.
أصول is
Sparrow.
عصفور. Oh, it's a sparrow. Okay.
Yeah.
ثم
ثم. Okay, I think that would be a better one. أقام الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم بمكة. ثم غسلت الفاكهة. فأكلتها.
فأكلتها.
قرأت صحيفة.
ما معنى مجلة؟
مجلة is article, like a magazine basically.
Okay.
I mean magazine.
ومجلة.
You can say where, you can say if.
Oh.
I think both should be fine. Both of them will be.
You can say
أتوضأ.
oh, right? Wouldn't that be oh?
No. In this case, it won't be oh. You can say either say wa or you can say fa.
صحيفة is a newspaper
Newspaper, yes.
or magazine? Wouldn't it be? Okay.
No, I mean usually
Oh,
you
I
say
read.
I
Okay.
read this
Oh, this
and
is
that,
past
right?
tense. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you can even say oh because when you're in doubt.
Yeah.
But usually
Yeah.
people know if they read a magazine or newspaper. أتوضأ. After that أصلي.
فأصلي.
فأصلي. جيد. Okay, so we'll stop here. Inshallah, Brother Mursal, you can stop recording.